Yeah. Please tell me that I can't, that I won't, that I fail, that I'll never make it out, yeah. Please tell me all the bad, never good, fill my head full of every single doubt, yeah. Please say any negative thoughts, I pop off when I hear people say I cannot. I get off to the thought of proving everyone wrong, I won't stop to the top, so you better back off and get lost. I'ma stay loud, stay proud, never running out, never heading south. I'll be spreading out, call it word of mouth, can't put me down, I'll be getting loud. You can have your doubts, not what I'm about, have your cloud, it be raining now, I keep making sound, go another round, I'm legend bound, can't stop me now.
You don't wanna fuck with me, a slow burn like a disease. Just tell me that I can and I'll show you things that you couldn't believe. Just tell me that I can, just tell me that I can.
Welcome back to another episode of Rob Sports Center, man, and today I got a good episode for you guys. Today I'm going to be addressing why Lamar Jackson is so hated by the media or by people in general, right? Me and one of my buddies was having a conversation yesterday, and I was like, you know what? I need to make a video about that, and I need to go a little bit in detail. So let me read to you so I'm gonna ask you guys this. What's the biggest narrative that you guys hear about Lamar Jackson? You know, as of lately, what is it? Playoffs. He can't perform, he folds, he bends in the playoffs, right? So let me read to you guys. I'm gonna read to you guys first Lamar Jackson's stats from 2018 to 2023 regular season. Then I'm gonna read you guys his stats from 2018 up into 2023 in the playoffs. Granted, they made the playoffs every year that Lamar Jackson has been starting. Besides, what year was that? 2020. I think it was 2021. No, they still made the playoffs. It was one of those years that that they didn't go. I think it was 2021, if I'm not mistaken, because he started 2018, he started 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. So I think it might have been that 2021 season, because he ended up getting hurt week 14 against the Cleveland Browns. And I think that was the year that they didn't make the playoffs. But so check this out. So we're gonna start from first, 2018. So I'm just gonna go and read you guys the stats. So 2018, Lamar Jackson, and that was his first. His first start was week 11. Was a week 11 victory, 24-21. I forgot exactly who they was playing. But his yards for that season was 1,201 passing yards, 6 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. I know some of you guys probably looking at that and thinking that ain't, but like I said, he didn't start starting until week 11. So his first full season as a starter was an MVP. Now, I didn't include the rushing yards. I'm just giving you guys a kind of breakdown of the passing. So this was his MVP, his first MVP season. He had 3,127 passing yards, 36 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. Look at that touchdown-interception ratio. That is beautiful, right? It is regular season, but still at the same time, that's still beautiful. So you go to 2020, he had 2,757 passing yards, 26 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. Then you go to 2021, he had 2,882 passing yards, 16 touchdowns, 13 interceptions. He ended up getting hurt week 14 against the Browns, cost him the rest of the season. So you go to 2022, he had 2,242 passing yards, 17 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. I don't necessarily like the passing touchdowns to interceptions thing, but you got to consider in how much he was running the ball too. Also 2023 season, he had 3,678 passing yards, 24 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Now, let me break something down to you guys also as well. So when we're having these debates and these comparisons about Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Joe Burrow, Josh Allen, y'all have to take one thing into consideration, right? What is one of Lamar Jackson's biggest assets? His legs. So his legs, a lot of what the Ravens do are, for one, the Ravens are predominantly a running team. I always say that the style of play that the Ravens have is good if you jump up because it's about moving the ball and milking the clock. But if you fall behind early, let's just say you fall 14-0 in the first half or 21-0, now you have to rely on Lamar Jackson to be much more of a passer. And I'm not saying that he's not a passer, but you don't want to put too much pressure on your quarterback, period, regardless of who it is. Some guys can perform under pressure. You know, the Mahomes, the Brady, the Breezes, all those guys. Everybody's not able. So it puts him in a position to, okay, I got to make something happen because if I don't, we lose the game, right? So you got to take it. When you're looking at the passing categories and you comparing him to these guys, understand that 50% of their offense is about him running the ball and him handing the ball off. So you got to take that into consideration too, especially this coming up year. And they just added Derrick Henry to the lineup. So now we're going to go to the playoffs. So in 2018, he had 194 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception versus the Chargers, which they end up losing. In 2019, he had 365 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions versus the Titans, which they end up losing. So in 2021, obviously he ended up getting hurt. That was the season he got hurt in week 14. 2022, he got hurt, but Huntley started and they got bounced out by the Bengals. And then you go to 2023, which when they got beat by the Chiefs this past season, you have 272 passing yards, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Now I will say one thing that I noticed, but once again, look at his regular season stats. Because I'm trying to get you guys to understand this. Look at his regular season stats in terms of passing. It's not spectacular. It's not 5,000 yards. He hasn't even had a 4,000 yard passing season as a quarterback in the NFL. So I'm trying to get you guys to understand when you're looking at that box score and you're seeing the passing yards not up to par, then, obviously a lot of the blame is going to go there. But then once again, you have to go and look at what the Ravens are best at, and that's running the football, managing the clock. But what did I say? If you fall behind. Now, if they fall behind early, whose fault is that? Is that Lamar Jackson's fault, or is that on the defense fault? The defensive coordinator fault for not making the adjustments needed to combat what they was doing, right? That's not Lamar Jackson. He can only control what he can control. He can't control what the defensive coordinator does. He can't control what the defensive player does. He can't control what the offensive line does. He can't control what his wide receivers do. All he can do is control what he can control. And you put him in a position to where if you fall behind, now that's when the interceptions come. So when you look at, the game in 2019 with 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions, in your mind, you like, see, that's what I'm talking about. He folded. But think about if they fell behind early and he has to try to come up. And you got to think about it too. Lamar Jackson has done so much with less. Name me, other than Hollywood Brown, name me a pro receiver that the Baltimore Ravens have had. Name me. You can say Mark Andrews, he's a tight end. He's not a running back. He's not a wide receiver. And then you might want to say, he had Dez. Dez was past his prime. You might want to say, he had Odell. Odell realistically is past his prime. Odell isn't a Justin Jefferson. Odell isn't a Jamar Chase. Odell isn't a Tyreek Hill anymore. His injuries railroaded there. If he didn't get hurt, could he still be playing and being effective? I believe so, truthfully, because I believe in Odell. But the fact of the matter is that's just not the actual reality of it. So you got to take those things into consideration. So kind of breaking that down. And it's like I said, one thing that you have to do too in all these games, specifically from last season, right? 2023, when they lost to the Chiefs, people said, he should have did this. People said, he should have did that. People said, he folded. He didn't stand up. Nobody gives credit to Steve Spagnuolo and the Kansas City Chiefs defense and the schemes that they designed to minimize his efficiency. Nobody gives credit to the Chiefs. They say Lamar Jackson folded. So now that discredits Steve Spagnuolo and how great that defense really was, because you're basically saying the defense didn't do nothing. Lamar Jackson just came out and decided he didn't want to play. But when you look at the statistics from playoffs to regular season from year to year, it's the same thing. It's pretty much identical. Now we can dive a little deeper and actually go look at things and be like, okay, this is something that hurt them here that he didn't have nothing to do. This is something, a special teams fumble hurt them. Now they give the ball back to the team. Or he might have been hurt, so you have to factor all those things into it. But I'm going to give you guys, I'm going to tell you guys the ultimate reason why I believe strongly that Lamar Jackson is hated so much. And I will say this, I'm man enough to admit when I was one of those people, and I was one of those people that was like, Lamar Jackson really isn't that good. He's just an over-glorified running back, wide receiver to an extent. His only attribute is his running. He doesn't make good decisions passing-wise. He doesn't have the strongest arm. He doesn't have the most accuracy. He's a runner. That's what he is. Nothing more, nothing less. He's specifically a runner. So much credit goes to what he does with his legs, and what he does with his legs is so spectacular that it oversees what he does also passing through the air. And then when you factor in the fact that he hasn't had a top-notch receiving core, then you start to say to yourself, wow, man, this dude really is amazing. But it's because of how productive and how efficient he is with his legs that hurts them. Now, if you ask me truthfully, if you ask me, okay, Rob, what is something that you think that hurts Lamar? I would probably say IQ. Learning when to use your legs, not always using it as an escape, like using it as, all else fails, take off running. still trying to see if you can create plays down the field with your legs in terms of extending plays, knowing when to take your check down routes and knowing when not to force the ball down the field. Those are things that he can get better at, and also trying to understand reading the defenses. So one of the things they said the Chiefs was real good at was their disguising their defensive set, the defensive coverage they were in through pre-snap reads. So if you guys may not know, if you see a lot of teams who run a lot of motion, they'll send this guy in motion, they'll send that guy in motion, and sometimes you will see them send the tight end in motion and you'll bump the tight end out. Then they'll bring the tight end right back. What they're doing, they're trying to identify the coverage that they're in. If the man follows, it's probably man to man. If the man stays, it's zone coverage. What is man to man? Man to man means you're my man, I follow you wherever you go. You go downfield, I follow you there. You cut inside, I follow you there. You go outside, I follow you there. What is zone coverage? Zone coverage is my zone. You come in this zone, you mine. You pass through this zone, you wherever else you're going, that's the responsibility. So when you're good at disguising that, if I send a man in motion, right, and I see the man follow, I'm assuming that that's man coverage. So every defensive coverage has a vulnerability, it has a weakness, right? So you design certain plays that's designed for attacking the weaknesses within those coverages. Like say for instance, if you're doing cover two is for what? To stop and minimize the intermediate and short routes. So if you're trying to take away that, that's good. But the deep down the field route is not the best at. So if I'm thinking that you're in cover three is good for the deep routes. So if I'm thinking that you're even in the cover one because I see a single high safety, that means man-to-man coverage. Or if I think that you're in the cover two, that means I got openings down the field. And as soon as I hike the ball, and if it's pressure up front, I don't have too much time, I'm going based off the route that I think is going to beat the defense that I believe that you guys are in. Now, once the ball is snapped, everybody disperses and they get into their coverage. And you say, oh, crap, either I threw it too early, which is a pick, or now I got to take a sack, or now I got to try to make something happen with my legs. You know what I mean? So those are things that we got to take into consideration. And I think the Chiefs played one of the best games defensively that you can play against the Baltimore Ravens. I think that whatever they did, a lot of teams should, kind of go study their tape and say, okay, how were they able to minimize him as much as they did? Because slowing him down like how they did, the Chiefs deserve a lot of credit for what they've done. But at the end of the day, we can't take nothing away from Lamar Jackson. Is he a better passer than Mahomes? Probably not. Is he a better passer than Joe Burrow? Probably not. But does that make him that much less than those two? Absolutely not. Because he wouldn't be that getting MVPs, unanimous MVP. You know what I mean? So you got to take that into consideration. He's special in his way. And his legs is a part of what makes him great. You can't, I don't ever hear them saying nothing about Josh Allen. Josh Allen runs just as much as Lamar Jackson. But I don't ever hear anybody saying anything about him running. It's just, whenever it comes to Lamar Jackson, it's always, he's an over-glorified runner, pretty much. So that's my take on that. Comment down below and let me know what you guys think because I'm curious. Let me know if you guys feel like, okay, Rob, I agree with you, but you forgot about this. Or let me know that, okay, Rob, you're an idiot. I disagree with you, and this is why that. I'm up for the debate. And like I always say, iron sharpens iron. So I'm not ducking no comments. Feel free to comment. But if you did enjoy this video, do me a big favor, man. Smash that thumbs up button. Also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. When you subscribe, smash that thumbs up button. That way, I said thumbs up button. Smash the thumbs up button too, but when you subscribe, smash that post notification bell. That way you be notified because like I told you guys, I'm trying to bang some of the best quality sports analysis. I'm trying to do homework. I'm trying to dive deep. That way I can give you guys the best information. I'm not saying things for shop value. I'm trying my best to speak about facts opposed to opinions. So if you down for that, go ahead and join the crew, man. I'm out this thing. I'll see y'all in the next video. Peace.